Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 488, recorded on July 25th, 2024. On this week's episode with guest host Casey, we talk about several things about Nintendo that came up in the news, and we talk about strikes, money talks, things going on in Splatoon, things falling to pieces. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. Jesse, you know what to do. Oh, hello. This is the Nintendo Dads coming to you live right now. And of course, if you're listening to us on the podcast, we're not live, but we're crammed in your little, headset right now, trying to talk to you live. No, I don't know. It's not very often I get to do the intro because Marty's usually here doing it, or Justin is. So, I'm just making stuff up. But anyways, how you doing, Casey? It's a long time since you've been on the last time.
I'm doing good. Last time we were here, I made a prediction about Donkey Kong, and then on our Discord, I had to make a decision on, I said a new Donkey Kong, which we technically got, but it's a remake, so I went and buzzed my head anyway. Just instead of doing it on the show, I did it on my own to make it fair. I figure it's a good middle ground.
It's a good
hair all over.
It's a good haircut for the summer too, so
yeah.
Are you the type where it's like, oh, I got to get this hair off my head when it's hot?
Yeah, it's just hot, and then that's like, just give me a one. We went like far to the eastern part of the state, Eastern Washington, where it gets up. It got to like 100 for a couple weeks, and we were going to be out and about, and I said, you know what, I don't want to deal with it.
Nice.
And it's been very cool on my head, and my daughter actually likes this. She calls it fuzzy hair. She likes to just touch it. So
yeah. I get mine really short on the back here, and that's my wife likes to do that too. Like it's like velvety and stuff.
When it's a one, you're just like, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Cool. Jesse, how you doing?
Pretty good. Just got back from the Deadpool Wolverine movie. I saw it in 3D. So we had the choice of red glasses or yellow glasses. So I chose the red ones.
Of course. Yep, and that's what he's wearing. In case nobody is watching, if you're listening, he's wearing his Deadpool glasses.
I'm not going to wear them throughout the whole show. I just thought that'd be funny to put them on for the intro.
Well, then how are we going to be in 3D if you take them off?
True.
Very carefully.
Look, here, what happens if I point at the camera? Is it? No.
It doesn't work that way.
Darn it. All right, well, we got a lot of stuff going on in the show. We're going to try to get through it, and we may... well, no, I take that back. I was going to say we may get a Justin appearance, but then he said he wouldn't be able to make it. So I forgot he changed it. So anyways, he's on assignment. Exactly. Good point. So he's out on assignment in Canada, he's scoping out what we're going to do for the Nintendo Dad's next gathering, I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
All right, let's move on to the news. Shout out to Nintendaddy for subbing. Isn't he a cool guy?
He's all right. I hear he's kind of toxic, but...
All right, we'll keep an eye on him. Moderators, keep an eye on that guy. All right, so we got a lot of Patreons this week, and because of that, well, let's get this out of the way. The news and the ad-free version of this podcast is brought to you by our Patreons at patreon.com, Nintendo Dads. And a huge thanks to all our new Patreons. And why did we get so many? Because Marty and Justin decided to do, hey, if we get 10 new Patreons, we can we'll get some Pokemon Crocs for Marty to wear. And we've got 6. We got Michael, Chris, Jonas, Steven, Ricardo, Pat. 6 since the last episode. I think we're well on our way to getting Marty those Pokemon Crocs to wear for a month.
Do the Patreon listeners get to vote on which pair of Crocs he gets?
No, we already said it was going to be the Pokemon ones.
No, I know, but there's 4 Pokemon.
Oh.
So that's what I meant. Do they get to choose if it's the Charizard, the Snorlax, the Gengar, and I think the other one's Jigglypuff?
Interesting. I don't think that's ever come up.
Yeah, I don't think we thought that far ahead yet.
Yeah.
I
think it was just like,
which is very on brand for us.
Yeah. But that is a good question. I'll leave that to Marty if he wants to do that. The man does have to wear them for a month, so you know.
Now, he may have already pre-ordered them. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know if he's pre-ordered them already because right now they're not available until what, September, I think he said.
I
I
believe
think
so.
that's when yeah.
So, but thank you everybody for all of you who subscribed, especially if you did it a year in advance, because basically that year in advance helped pay for those right off the bat. So thank you very much. And I can't wait to see those on his feet, and we'll get pictures and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure we'll get him showing them off during Extra Life once we do that too. So very cool. And thanks to all of our Patreons who've already subscribed and continue to subscribe as we try to do our best to give out prizes to our Patreons whenever we can. And we haven't forgotten about you guys over there on Twitch either. So anybody who's over there subscribing on Twitch, like Nintendaddy, maybe using your Amazon Prime. If you have that, you get one free
Please do.
month. Yes, use that one free month, and we'd be happy to take that if you forgot. And you can also add to that queue of people who are subscribing, even though it's not Patreon. We did say that would include all of the Twitch subscribers as well. So if you do subscribe on Twitch, that will go towards the 10 that Marty needs to have in order to wear those Pokemon Crocs for a month.
I
All
think
right.
we've had one new Twitch subscriber since last week.
Okay.
I just don't know who, but I just saw the number.
All right.
It just went up by one over last
no.
week.
We
I
have to
just
look.
put in our Discord, our Zoom meeting, what those shoes look like, by the way.
Nice.
And I think Marty screams Snorlax or Jigglypuff to me personally. I think those are the move.
Nice. All right. Well, I can't wait to find out exactly which ones he goes for. And we'll talk to him about maybe putting a poll up on the Patreon page and seeing if he's up for that.
Okay.
If he hasn't ordered them already or pre-ordered them already. So, all right. And thanks for everybody for helping us create more great Nintendo Dads content and for making our community a better place. Because when you're in Patreon, or when you're subscribing via Twitch, you get to be part of our Discord. And that's where we talk to our community and do a lot of giveaways and prizes and stuff like that within the community. And we chat with a lot of people who give us a lot of ideas. And we hang out together too. So we'll be talking about all those different things we do together there. But the main thing is that you all help us with our news. Speaking of which, the first item to talk about is the strike, which is the SAG-AFTRA. SAG-AFTRA video game voice.
I don't know what it means, but yeah, that's how it's pronounced.
Performance actors are going on strike at midnight tonight. So by the time we're rounding out our show, they're going to go on strike. And why are they going on strike? Because of AI.
Yeah, which I'm not surprised because last year they also had a strike, and when they had their whatever deal that they struck, it included AI as an option, and I'm like, why would they sign that? So I guess they're like wanting to change their mind on that one, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, but President Fran Drescher, and that is that Fran
Drescher, yes,
that Fran Drescher. We're not going to consent to a contract that allows companies to abuse AI to the detriment of our members. Enough is enough. So something's happening there to, yes, that thing they signed, something happened. So that's
yeah. And this just literally just was live news like this afternoon, like 2:00 or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
yep. We'll stay on top of that and see if it affects anything going on in Nintendo.
So I don't know if y'all have this similar thing at your work, but at where I work, we have this survey that they want us to fill out quarterly, basically asking what questions with, how does management, do you think you can talk to upper management without retaliation? Things, things like that. And normally, I normally rank things pretty high, either almost always or most of the time. And because very rarely have issues with how things are going, because I'm I'm not a manager, but I'm as close to middle management as you can get. Uh, I'm far from the the grunt work people, and I'm far from the executives. So that's kind of where I'm at. But one of the questions is, you know, what are your thoughts on AI? And I just went down to the bottom, the worst possible option for all of the AI questions. I'm like, even though it, in for my based on my work, it's not it's not exactly the same as what the voice actors might be are worried about, but still, I'm reluctant. It's my age. I'm the old guy, one of the old guys now, compared to everyone else I work
Get
with
off my
directly.
lawn.
Yeah, and I don't. I'm not ready for that type of change. I'm sure the incoming generation is probably more ready for it, but I am not.
So, Jesse, I'm not that far from you in age, but there is a line for me for AI where there's a part of it where I like AI as a resource or a tool, but not as a replacement for anything. So,
Right.
and that's where for me, that's where the line gets drawn.
I use a
Yeah, and
lot for like making map. I'll say like when I want to draft a general email to people I have to send, I'll use it for that a lot of times, and then add a little personal voice. I found it great for D&D though.
Oh
If
yeah.
I have to say, just give me a roll table of random
Mhm.
events, and then I look at it for the DM prep. The stuff that would take me hours, it's like it takes now for me to prep a good session an hour, and
Oh,
also
that's
to make a
cool.
monster. Because my one friend showed me is like, look, I make Ganon, and I was like, what'd you do? And it was pretty good. And then now you can massage it a bit too.
Which one are
So
you using for that with the
Chat
AI?
GPT,
Chat. Okay.
and I've given it like my group's character sheet. Be like, okay, what is a good thing to bother this player? Because they're a thorn in my side. They all want to derail my plans.
tell me he's chaotic evil.
Yes, absolutely. The DM has to be.
Yes. Yep. So as I said, the SAG-AFTRA um, group is going to go on strike tonight. So we'll see
Yeah,
how
so
that affects.
that'll be an interesting story to follow,
Yep. And
and
we'll see how
wonder
that
how long
affects
it'll last.
and how far it'll affect the gaming industry for sure. So
Yeah.
next up we got the final splat down. It's the final splat
Splat
down.
down.
I'm sure that's what Marty had in mind when he wrote that. So Nintendo announced the Grand Festival Splatfest. This Splatfest for the Splatoon Splatoon 3 game runs September 12th through the
Gesundheit.
15th. Thank you. With a 4-day festival of music, ink-stained competition, and community fun. Players will choose between 3 different musical acts from all 3 Splatoon games as they try to answer the impossible question, which is the most important to you? Past, which is Callie and Marie, the Squid Sisters. Present, which is Pearl and Marina, Off the Hook. Or Future, which is the latest group, Shiver, Fry, and Big Man, which is Deep Cut. So those are your 3 options: past, present, or future. Jesse, I know you don't play, but which one would you pick if you did?
I would probably pick past.
All right. Casey, which one would you pick? Do you, and I think
Present.
you play,
No
right?
time like the present.
Present. All right. I
I
probably would
played with
pick,
my son. Yeah, that's he got into it for a good month, and it's a fun game.
I would probably pick present too, even though I like Big Man a lot. And I think that's probably what Marty would have picked. Probably the Big Man one. But
Yeah, I
why did you guys go with your picks?
yeah. Just in terms of the characters, I've never really uh, gotten. Again, I don't play any of these games, so I really don't know any of them well. But based on what I've seen, none of the characters of Deep Cut reached out at me, whereas Squid Sisters and Off the Hook both did. In fact, I pre-ordered both sets the amiibo that are coming out for them. I
Yes,
don't know if
I
Deep
did
Cut's
too.
also getting an amiibo set, but the Squid Sisters not the hook. So as for why I picked Past, again, I think is I have nostalgia for the older things. Again, my age. A lot of the younger people probably wouldn't have as much. Uh, that's mainly why. Can't think of
Okay.
any better reason.
No, that works. No, I totally get it. How about you, Casey? You picked present.
I just knew him from the game. That was really it because I never played two, and I didn't play much of one. Um, and so they came from two, right? That's their big
Yes.
thing. So I kind of think it was two might have been underappreciated. People liked it, but in terms I could be talking on my butt. For sales, I think it did fine. Where I think three is done really well, and I've heard some argument that three is really 2.5 in a way.
Yeah, and we've had that argument here too, where it was like
Yeah,
a
I think that was
2.5.
Justin's
Yeah.
thoughts.
And that
Shooters just need to be like, hey, this is our yearly like expansion or patch instead of just making a new game like
or service. Like
or
I think
service.
that's what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. But that's the only reason why, just because I know them from playing
Cool.
a little bit with my son.
I think what
Yeah,
pushes it. Go ahead, Jesse.
I'm digging into my notes from end of quarter or end of fiscal year to see if I have sales for 2 and 3.
Okay. While you're looking that up, I'll just mention mine. I picked present because of
Yeah.
I think what pushed it over the edge for me was the side order DLC because of Pearl and Marina being in there in the side order DLC and also being Splatoon 2. They were cool characters in there. So
I also like pink and green as a color combo.
yeah.
That was
Well,
my other
she's really
reason.
cool. She's
Yeah.
just a cool character. Marina. So
Okay, Splatoon 2 is 16th ranked in sales of Nintendo first parties at 13.6 million. And Splatoon 3 is ranked 21st at just under
Hmm.
12 million. So there's about a million and a half, million point seven gap between the two. This is as of the end of March. Things could change by the
Yeah.
next time we get results.
Yeah. People really
Interesting.
like two though. People that was one that like
Which
got people,
might
I
be in like
think.
2 weeks. We should get Q1 results.
Okay.
oh yeah. Yep. So this is being talked about as being the last because they're touting it as the grand festival, right? So everybody's thinking, is this the final Splatfest, the big one? I'm sure they'll have more going on, but they said they would be supporting the game with these type of things for 2 years, and the 2 years coming up. So there's the grand festival, and usually when they have one big last one, they have some sort of clue in it of what could be happening in the next Splatoon. A lot of times we don't know what that is until we get that next Splatoon, but
And then
um
realize, oh, I see what they did.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's maybe it has something to do with the votes going on with past, present, and future. We'll see. But you guys have any guesses as to what could be it? I'm drawing a blank, so I don't
I
know.
would think it's just because of I could see it being the last one too, because everyone I think the obvious answer is the next Switch, right? That would be
Mhm.
kind of the iteration there. I feel like this summer, we have the new Zelda game coming in September. I think it's been kind of slow game wise. Like there's new games, but there's nothing like that everyone's like hung their hat on this summer. I feel minus NES Championship, which I know we'll talk about later, but I think like they're just I feel like we're getting a quiet front till PAX until and we're gonna hear some stuff maybe in near November.
Well, and I also mean to like with this grand finale, grand festival, what kind of story do you think would happen from this that would tie into Splatoon 4?
Like, one example could be if Future wins, Splatoon 4 might be more cyberpunky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And if passed, then it'd be a little bit more unevolved, with how the models are and your characters
Okay.
are.
Yeah, or the winner could be the hosts of the next game, right? Could be something like that.
Or
it
a
might,
major part of the
just,
single player.
It just might be a time travel game, and you visit multiple timelines.
That would be interesting.
That'd be interesting.
It's a
Yeah.
Splatoon time travel game. I like that.
Yeah.
Or a Splatoon alternate universe.
Splatoon
Everybody's doing
verse.
alternate universe.
Yeah, everybody multiverses are so in right now.
All right,
You get a
cool.
multiverse. You get a multiverse.
Right.
Oh, well, a small sidetrack on that. I just watched the animated Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3, and I was almost in tears at the end. The way they destroyed some of the timelines in there.
Okay. All right.
So,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
If anyone else has seen it, throw a comment at me.
No spoilers. No spoilers, though.
Yeah, I'll stop with I'll stop right there. I won't go more.
Well, I mean, anybody who makes a comment. So, but I was also going to ask anybody who's watching live, if you got a comment as to which one you would pick, past, present, or future, would love to hear it to figure out how many people are going with who. Whether you're going with past, which is Squid Sisters, present, which is Off the Hook, or future, which is Deep Cut. So, but I'm looking forward to the festival part of it, which sounds kind of cool. So I'll be checking it out. Hopefully I'll remember to check it out. And hopefully I'll remember to put it on our calendar in our Discord too. So everybody remembers. All right. Next up is Money Talks. Warner Brothers acquires Multiversus developer, Multiversus developer, Player First Games.
I thought they already owned them, so that headline surprised me.
Yeah, I thought so too. Which I thought was very interesting.
It makes sense if they're going to have them maintain the game.
Right. It's a weird thing because that was kind of my thing. Like they didn't already. I thought it was their, but I guess Warner Brother wants money as the developer and the publisher. Maybe
it was kind of a thing where it's like, okay, let's get you to work on it, and then they did really well, and it did pretty well, and so they're like, okay, we're gonna buy you out.
I think receiving the money from the players would have gone to Warner anyway, being the publisher, but at least with them now being the developer, I think that streamlines that process. You don't have to go through a lot of ugly contract negotiations every time you want to do an update. It's like, we own you now. Do what we say.
All right.
Yeah. Warner Brothers is weird too. I think maybe it's a way to try to get on. Okay, so it's not on the Switch, but Warner Brother owns and Universal have like a shared thing of Harry Potter, right? And I think with Universal being the connection to Nintendo, and this is me being Charlie Day from Always Sunny with the red lines here, okay. Yeah. And that Universal's making the Epic Resort, and I think they want to get on Switch because it's just another platform that people like playing platform fighters on. And them playing buddy with just Warner Brothers owning it and saying, hey, we're doing this good faith. Look what we do with Universal, because it's going to have a Harry Potter section at the same resort that's going to have Nintendo stuff, right? So all these other companies are investing in these because there's a lot of weird stuff going on in media right now. Paramount just got bought by Skydance, I think, right? Which is another studio. So that Paramount app will probably change. And Paramount
I didn't know that either. I am so out of it when it comes to current news.
Sorry, this is something I pay. That's like the one thing I'm pretty keyed in on is like who's owning what conglomerates sometimes. And I think Max might change again. I don't know. I think there's some that would be my guess is they want to just try to buddy up with other companies to get on other systems, but also maybe to own both the publishing and the developer rights, so they get double dipped on the pay, which is not always a good thing because I think of Disney's whole gaming section that they had the cool Toys to Life Disney game that I can't think of right now. Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I don't know. So as long as they just stay for a free to play game, that's fine.
Well, them owning the development studio, basically when they only have they fund the payroll and their benefits, but that can be done over a drip feed. just like any other payroll. Whereas if they did it in you're a third party, we have to do this contract, then they have to, then the publisher pays the developer a lump sum as part of the contract negotiation, or it could be over multiple payments. But then that company then deals with their own internal payroll. So this ultimately could be cheaper for Warner Brothers to be the payroll as opposed to being the contract bank. So it's hard to tell. I am not into that aspect of business. That Justin probably has more thoughts on that than we do. But that's just my understanding of how money goes from business to business if it's owned or not owned by each other.
If anybody who's listening to this, whether now or on your podcast, if you want to hear Business Justin's take on this, leave a comment wherever you're listening to this at, and we'll hear it. And then maybe he'll do a video on the business side of it. Who knows? He might just do it anyway. So, but just let us know if you're interested in that kind of thing from the Business Justin side. So, all right. That was the good side of it. If you want to, because, a big company buying out a smaller company and they let it happen. So I'm assuming they wanted that. So good for them. But then there's the bad side of things. Again, Humble Games got gutted, and from Games Radar got some more information on it. And in a statement released by Humble Games, they confirmed reports of layoffs at the company, but did not specify how many employees were affected. Humble Games described the layoffs as part of a restructuring rather than a function of total closure, as some employee accounts suggested on Twitter. Additionally, all upcoming games are still moving forward and support will continue for all released games. So another company.
IGN is tied into this somehow. Either that IGN and Humble Bundle, both owned by the same parent company, or is IGN the parent company of Humble? I don't remember, but that's why I thought I saw IGN was kind of involved in this somehow as well, which is weird. I could be wrong, but I could have misread that altogether. But
I'm looking it up,
because I know every time IGN mentions Humble
remains a subsidiary of IGN Entertainment.
Okay, because I know I whenever in NBC, whenever they talk about Humble, they do a disclaimer message.
Yeah,
of some
no,
sort.
the disclaimer on IGN's thing is disclaimer. This is a IGN Entertainment and Publishing label operate under separate divisions of the same. Ziff Davis is the parent company. What a name for a company.
Okay, and then Infrendo just said the same thing in chat, so thank you.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Yep. Charity bundle platform. Oh, so wait, does this mean that Humble bundles are going to get killed? That's my worry.
No, they said it's business as usual. Just they had to restructure.
Okay.
So they're still a business. They're just no longer owned by Ziff, right?
Yeah, and then the layoffs are coming.
They've already let go a lot of people. They already let go teams. And things are still moving forward that they had planned already. It's just that it's now they had to let some people go. They're restructuring.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
So they're not closing, they're not shutting down, they're just restructuring. So a lot of times
Spulio says Ziff Davis used to own Tech TV and G4 way back.
Yeah.
Oh.
A lot of times I worry about that companies use when we start getting this kind of like a lot of companies doing this, that the economy is affecting this or that decision and all that kind of stuff. I almost feel like it's almost an excuse, like, hey, now's our chance. Not saying they're doing this. I'm just saying it feels like it sometimes when we get one company after another. Oh, we're restructuring, or we're closing down, or we're shutting down this place or that place because of the economy or inflation or sales aren't doing well. All of a sudden it's like there might be some real facts behind that for some companies, but then it seems like some companies may use it as an excuse to try to save a buck, you know?
Yeah.
It's the way it feels for me sometimes.
Because it's true. It is what's happening. I feel like it's not, you're not, you know.
But and there's no way to tell, obviously, unless you actually were involved in that. So, and I feel bad for all the people who lose their jobs and wonder where they end up going. You know, it's like if it's truly a saturation of the market of all these games, where else can they go to do the craft that they do if they're trying to slow down the amount of games being made? Maybe they go and make learning games. I don't know. Who knows where they go. All right. So let's get off the bad news and let's get back into some of the other news. Well, I guess it could be bad news. We never get the good stuff.
Yeah, we don't. With the
Nintendo's
gacha, no.
offering the gacha style fidget key rings at its stores in Japan. The key rings are based on Nintendo's retro controllers, including the Famicom, Super Famicom, Nintendo 64, and GameCube. They can be found at Nintendo's Tokyo store and at their Narita Airport's Nintendo check-in. So
These look fun.
who's going to
Oh.
eBay to see what if they can get the set from somebody in Japan?
I'm not going to be willing to pay that price, but and I saw a video of someone who actually took it apart, took away like they had the Super Nintendo one. They took it apart. They took apart a Super Nintendo, and they were literally able to swap the parts, and they are legit parts, controller parts.
That's crazy.
They,
I want at least the Super Nintendo one if they bring them to the US. I'll even take the Super Famicom one, you know, with the color buttons, but it'd be cool if I could get the purple ones.
Yeah.
Europe had color buttons too, right?
Yes, Europe and Japan had them. We did not. We had purple. Americans don't like too much colors, I guess. I don't know.
My first Super Nintendo, because my dad got it from work, was the red, yellow, the rainbow colored one. That's the best one, in my opinion. The purples are nice and it's uniform, but nothing beats that red, yellow, blue, green.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when it was that color.
Yeah.
But, you know, being that I grew up with the purple ones, that's where I'm more nostalgic for it. So but that's cool. You got the colored ones.
I did, because we got it a month early before it came out. And
nice.
The other thing, though, I would rather take an older.
Did you have a Japanese import then?
My dad is the Japanese import. I would feel like, because it was just like the first prototypes that Nintendo had. They're like, hey, to all the quality control engineers, take this home. Here you guys go, and here are the controllers, and so that's why we got that. The other thing I would rather have, though, with like the N64, do you remember when it was like the thing of the late 90s, let's make it see-through?
Yes.
And like a color? I'd rather just have that shell. Let's bring those back. Some more of those.
Well, we've been dying for that for Nintendo to do that with the Switch.
Yeah, yeah.
Like do that.
But do it with good controllers. Do it with the new Joy-Cons. Right.
Yeah. Right. Or do it with the Pro controllers. Do the atomic colors for the Pro controller.
I would have bought
was it like purple, orange, green, and
the green, and there was a light blue, and I think there was a red. Right?
There was
when the 64.
Well, some stores had exclusive colors, like Toys R Us had an exclusive color, I think. See-through color. But yeah, I was like, why I would think they would be all over that.
I'm looking at them right now, all the atomic colors. So my buddy has the bright green one.
How many people in the Nintendo collectors community would buy all the colors?
You could buy all 6 on Mercari, Mercari, for $2,000 right now on this sale I'm looking at.
Well, I'm just saying if they came out with Pro controllers with those colors.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Or Switches with those colors as a theme.
There's a guy that back when we did Underpower, his name's Captain Alex, and you guys could probably follow him on social media, but he makes custom controllers, and I bet you if you reached out to him, he probably has them made. He does a really great job.
We actually have talked to him before, yes.
Okay, yeah.
We haven't had him on the show, but we have talked to him about a controller ourselves. So
a Nintendo controller. That'd be sick.
Nintendo Dad's controller, yes.
Yeah, I think we talked with them shortly after Kit and Cresta had their campaign, which I think is what gave us the idea.
Yeah, we were like, ooh, what if we do a 10th anniversary controller?
Yeah.
But it's they're there's a lot of upfront cost, and we were talking about maybe doing a Kickstarter
A
type
Kickstarter
thing.
to raise the upfront funds.
Yeah,
Okay, we could do
but
that.
but yeah, we didn't do that.
Okay.
So
Not
'cause
yet.
not yet. That's that's a serious sit down and take time to plan type of thing.
Yeah.
Remember
And
what I said about contracts?
yes,
This is a big contracting thing.
that is a big thing that a lot of us don't have time for, unfortunately. It wasn't going to be an easy thing, and it was going to take a lot of effort to maintain and manage because it's a Kickstarter
Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah.
and we want to do it right. We don't want to, do anything wrong by it. And
Hi, Jools.
exactly.
Right.
So, all
I know
right. So,
Kickstarters are hard. I wouldn't want to if it goes well, it's great. If it doesn't go well, I can
right.
only imagine yeah.
If this was my day job to do Nintendo Dad stuff, I would be all over it. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, I got other things that are taking my time too. All right. So I like I said, going back to the fidget key rings, I would love to get my hands on all of them if I could, or at least the Super Nintendo one, and probably even the GameCube one. So, but probably not going to happen unless I pay out the nose. Or we do have a couple local stores that do get Japanese gotcha type stuff. So maybe eventually they'll get that, but I don't know. We'll see. If anybody else out there has access to something like that, let us know, and maybe we can figure something out. All right, talking about one of the things I was talking about, Nintendo falling to pieces. Let's talk about what this news article is about. Super Mario World, Mario and Yoshi Lego set confirmed for this fall. It's a $130 price tag here in the US. It is item number 71438. Has 1,215 pieces, and you can pre-order now on lego.com, and it ships on October 1st. How many of you pre-ordered it? Did either of you pre-ordered it?
No.
I asked for it for Christmas. I immediately sent the link to my family. I was like, what I want for Christmas.
I would, if I had to choose between this and the Zelda one, I'm taking the Zelda one personally.
How much is the Zelda one?
$300.
Okay.
But that is also a Christmas birthday.
Yeah,
I just want
that would be a couple.
That's all I need.
I couldn't ask for that. Because I know this.
If I could only get one thing, I would be fine with it. I told her I don't need
that
other
totally
stuff.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I dig that. You know what? Maybe if I get enough because we get a work bonus, and maybe if I get enough of that and my family will let me, maybe I'll get that too. But we'll see.
I know. It's always how can we? Because that's the thing too. My wife, I know. It's my wife's turning 40 this in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if only I was turning 40 this year, this would be a lock, right?
Mm-hmm.
This would be there. But yeah.
Yep. Maybe next year when I turn 50.
It's cool though. I like that they're doing the 2D style versus just going back to the Super Mario ones. I like more of that, or a peeler style kind of, if that makes sense.
I agree. I like the that it moves too.
Yeah.
That surprised me when I went to go look at it and saw it moving. I was like, that's cool. That's what made me want it even more. But again, nostalgia for me, Super Nintendo. That was my first Nintendo system. Even though the NES probably could have been, but it's a story I talked about before. We just didn't get the NES. I had to buy that.
Burned by Atari.
Yes, Super Nintendo. I had to buy myself. So that's what I'm nostalgic for. And Super Mario World was my first Mario game that I beat. So
nice.
That's why it appeals to me for sure.
Yeah.
Jesse, are you gonna get it?
Not right away. This might be I'll put it on my Christmas list. Yeah, if Amazon sells it. But again,
Yes.
as I said last time we talked about Lego, I have 2 kits that I haven't opened yet. I don't need a third.
Well, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
If I could promise you one of the 3, if I could promise you this one, The Nintendo Entertainment, its sister one, or the Zelda one? Which of those ones would you want?
So I'll answer that in just a second. One of the things that I'll say is not the Nintendo Entertainment System because of I'm not nostalgic for it. If they were to come out with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System version like that, I would choose that number one all day because again, that's my system. And since I haven't seen that yet and it's unlikely and they have this,
Yeah.
I'm picking this over the Zelda tree, the Deku tree.
The fact that it moves is cool. That's the thing that
Yeah.
gets me with this one that I really like. I though was a kid with my Legos. I don't know how you guys did Legos. I built it and then no one was allowed to touch it. It was up and then it's there. It's for you to look at.
Yep.
This is my, and they
Don't
would
even
just
breathe on it.
don't look at it. Can I take it down? No. Like no one can touch
Right.
my model. Yeah.
There looked like there was some other things that came out too, and I see episode showing off some of the Fortnite, icons in there, but that reminded me that the banana set I think is coming out too. The banana guy where he's half banana, half
Healy
skeleton.
Bones.
Yes. I thought that was cool. And then I also saw, I don't know if this is true or not because I didn't open the article, but I guess there's a shadow head, Lego head, Sonic
Shadowhead.
from Sonic.
Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog Shadow, possibly.
Yeah.
There's a whole Sonic line that's actually pretty good, like the ship. My son has
Yeah, my son has a
the
couple too.
yeah, I really like him. He has the first one that wasn't with the Sonic packaging. It was the like they did now with the black backgrounds and it's the
Okay.
one-offs where it's the
Yeah.
loop and it's a you robotics built.
Yeah.
There's a new Bumblebee one that looks really cool. It's
Oh
coming out.
yeah. Yeah,
Obviously, there's the
that's right.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
Um,
that
I
Bumblebee is super cool.
um I hope they get
But
Ninja
yeah,
Turtles
I
back.
saw when I was looking at the Mario one that there was another thing in the feed that looked like there was a Sonic shadow uh head.
Yeah,
And I didn't click on it, so I don't know if it's real, but I don't know if that's another one that's coming out too.
yeah.
But lots of video game Lego stuff, and it's actually making me, to believe it or not, it's making me rethink some of my collection here because I have a lot of Funko Pops,
Mm,
but I'm thinking about putting away a lot of those and making space for a lot of these Lego sets that are coming out because there's like the
yeah.
Lord of the Rings Lego set, there's the D&D stuff,
The
there's
D&D
the
one's amazing too.
oh my
That was
gosh.
that's like for Hasbro owns it. With my joke has been Hasbro should just be making D&D figs and minis, right? That's how they make for the people that want to play in person. But more
Yes.
Lego collabs, like I've joked with friends, like, what if you just did a campaign, but your GM built everything? Your characters are minis, the
That's got to
maps
be
minis.
coming. Come on,
Yeah,
that's
it
got to be
happens.
coming.
It happens. Well, no, their big thing is the digital map that's coming to D&D Beyond. That
Right, yeah, I know they
is,
got the digital stuff, but still there's people who love the,
yeah,
the using
the
figures and
people
all
that
that
get
kind
to
of stuff.
play in person.
Yeah,
Imagine you have your own Lego of it. Like, oh no, I'm dead.
you could
Flop.
build your own because that would be more customizable
Yeah,
other than trying to, you could really customize one of the figures, obviously, but
yeah,
anyway, we could probably get really into the weeds and the discussion on
we
this
could,
one, but
we could.
but yes, Lego D&D would be awesome if they did that. But my wife actually thought of this. She said, "What if they did the mystery packs with various D&D characters and and those
Yeah,
blind bags?"
more or just like anything they want or the
Yeah,
movies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they should. I think it should be. I mean, there's clearly a nostalgia for the gaming. Like the Animal Crossing ones seem really great too. I
yeah,
hope they come out with a big like a big set piece for the Animal Crossing because right now they're those ranging from 20 to like maybe like 89. There's nothing in the 300 or
yeah.
$200
The
range. Is
tomb,
there?
the Tom. No, I'm saying the Tom Nook and another villager is the bigger one, isn't it? The biggest one because it's
Yeah,
the
and
it's the
it's
shop and another house.
but I don't know how much that is. Hold
Yeah.
on.
But
I
we
don't
still got to
think
get a museum. Do you think that would be the big one?
right. That would be one that they could do a lot of cool stuff with. They could do a whole downtown or just do the cafe with KK Slider.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, the Tom Nook one's like still like $80, right? When you
Yeah,
do this shop.
I
Like
think
I
so.
give me get whatever. I think the museum would be big, or Isabel's. I don't know.
What if they came out with a big island that you could
Yeah,
put all this stuff on?
you actually that would be an interesting thing. Like $500, you get they treat it like Animal Crossing. You're gonna get 5 random villagers and 5 random houses, and you can build.
Start
Yeah,
start your own
little
Lego
island.
island. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
All right, well, that is it for the news part. Let's talk about some upcoming releases. We got out now, or within the time you're listening to this recording, you got a Ranger, a role puzzling adventure, which I have a first look out on. I think it dropped today. So if anybody's interested in that, that is one we saw in the one of the indie showcases.
Mhm.
So we all kind of I think had some sort of interest in it. I probably had the most interest in it, I think. And we'll talk about that when we talk about the games we've been playing momentarily some more, but go check out that first look. We also have Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus, which came out, and then One Piece Odyssey, which is should be out by the time you listen to this.
Mhm.
And then out soon by August 1st, we got quite a few games coming out August 1st, which is Operation Tango, Star Wars Bounty Hunter August 1st as well. I'm not talking about Star Wars Hunters, which Casey, I know we talked about earlier during the show. We're talking about Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the PS2 GameCube game and Xbox 360 game that came out that Aspire brought out. And I will have a first look for that on the Nintendo Dads as well. Once that hits August 1st. Actually, I think that one I was able to, our embargo opens on July 31st, so you can look for that. Thank goodness you're here is August 1st. Tomba Special Edition is August 1st. Mars 2120 is August 1st, which we'll also have a first look on our page for that. And then Trinity Fusion August 1st, which will also have a first look of that as well. And then finally, out later, Steam World Heist 2 coming up quickly on August 8th, and Cat Quest 3 also August 8th, which I'm sure we'll also have videos for that too. So keep an eye on our channel, and if you're not subscribed to YouTube, and hit that bell like they always say to get notified when we drop those videos, do that. It
Ding.
helps. Yes, it helps us. It helps you to be able to see when we drop those videos and get a good idea whether or not that game is for you or not.
My
Anything else you
son,
guys have in mind that's coming up for releases that you want to talk about real quick?
no, that One Piece game looks really rad. I'm a huge One Piece fan,
It
and
looks
and
it looks
go ahead.
bad, you said?
No, it looks rad because
Oh,
it was
rad. Oh,
good.
sorry.
Sorry, I still say rad. I have the Ninja Turtles have affected my vocabulary
No,
deeply.
you're good. It just sounded like bad. I was
I
like,
know.
oh.
Looks really rad because it's good JRPG fun. And in Japan they made July 22nd officially One Piece Day. And
Oh.
One Piece turned 27 this year. So it's been around for 27
I
years.
Wow.
watched a reaction video of some guys watching One Piece and getting really excited about a situation that happened. I had no idea what was going on because I
Okay.
haven't watched any of the animes, but it made me interested. It's like, wow, they're really into this.
Yeah.
And, there's a big deal. It's something about, again, I don't know anything about One Piece, but they were super excited about the main character, I forget his name,
Luffy.
giving the hat he was wearing to another person.
Oh, Tanami. It's those guys they were talking about when it's the two guys that are watching and he's like, that's my
Yes.
captain, right? When they
Yes,
get all
that's
hyped
that
up.
one. Yeah.
I've seen that video too. That's a very early arc. So that's like episode like 40 or 50 in like the
Okay.
50s. That's Arlong Park. If you watch the live action One Piece, it happens in that too, that
Okay.
moment. Um,
Well,
they're
the thing is I don't get is that why they got so excited about that happening. I was like, wow, that's really significant. But I loved the passion
yeah,
of it that
yeah.
made me kind of want to watch it myself.
That's
There
some of
was
my favorite videos where people talk about I wasn't into it and then now I can't stop. I'm hooked. The people that start to love One Piece, like yes, good.
Okay.
Evan's asking if you were watching Roger since he's a big One Piece tuber.
I did
Oh
not I did not watch his stuff on it. No.
No,
Okay.
Rogers does stuff that's like for the weekly. He does a manga read. I follow Roger too. I've been reading following One Piece since I was like 12, 13. So like
Okay.
since 99 for a long time.
Yeah.
It's up
Well,
there
he
with Ninja
does watch
Turtles for
stuff
me.
too,
Yeah,
but you can't watch it with him because he can't show the video. It's like in the
right.
background, it's all chopped up or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
So you
It's
can't
otherwise he'll
reactions.
get copyright strikes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you kind of have to watch that first and then go watch his reaction to it or something like that.
Yeah.
But um,
He had problems with solo leveling, and he
That's a
stopped.
big one
yes,
too, because that's a
yeah,
webtoon. That's a weird thing. It's
I
not
got
a
the
like
books for that
proper.
one because I really like that story. That's a
That's a
good
cool one.
manga story.
The thing with One Piece is Netflix is reanimating it to make an abridged version, kind of like Dragon Ball did with Kai. But
Okay,
they're going to condense all the 1,000 episodes to 500, which is a really
Oh, is
good.
that all?
Oh, is that all? Yeah,
just cut
by
it in half.
half. Yeah, that's a lot because when you really do the math, if you watch 10 episodes a day, right, like that was like there's some rundown of like how many days each arc would take you or how many hours.
Yeah.
So like it's not that bad. It's 18 actual days of 20 if you go 24 hours straight of just watched.
That's why
So
I never got into One Piece, because I saw that 1,000 episode number and I'm like, no, I do
no,
not have
man.
So
that time.
is it just one continuous arc or they're like is it chunked
No,
up?
there's
There's
multiple
there's been
arcs and
time
sagas.
skips. They've
Okay.
had
Yeah,
multiple time skips.
they've had
Time skips.
yes, and then they've had one big time skip, but time has passed. And the thing about One Piece is like there could have been something set up on chapter 200 that in chapter 900 finally gets revealed. The fact that the author has been planning this far in advance to see the dominoes fall, and
Yeah.
then the game has little things in it too that are good to take from. I feel like
Okay.
so can't get enough One Piece.
Interesting. I'm gonna think about that one and I don't know.
Infrendo says, so they're just going to cut off the recap and what will happen next.
Yes, that's the worst thing. That like a lot of older One Piece is the first 12 minutes. Yes, that's right. It's just
That
recaps.
was an
Like, am I
accident
watching the
button.
same
I tried to
episode?
mute it, but I hit the fail horn instead.
No, it's true. It's
That's
totally a wah wah
it worked.
wah.
It worked.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I'm sure somebody in the community will be like, Tim, you gotta watch it. And I don't know, maybe I'll have to do like a Roger thing and just recap what I watched or something. And
Yes.
all right.
Should be
Well,
a Patreon pay.
that was Anime Dads section of our show. So let's now get away from the news and take an ad from Manscaped.
One second here. This is my first read, so I'm setting things up. Fellas, do you want your grooming routine to be one and done deal? Well, the days of using the same trimmer for your face and your private parts are over, thanks to our friends at Manscaped. They've come up with the ultimate package to keep your hairs trimmed from 12 to 6. Introducing the Beard and Balls bundle, featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 and the Beard Hedger, a trimmer for the moneymaker and another for the boys downstairs. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code NINDADS, NINDADS, at manscaped.com. Again, that is 20% off plus free shipping with the code NINDADS at manscaped.com for the premium grooming experience. Trust Manscaped. How did that sound?
Perfect. And just to let everybody know, if you've used NINDADS before, we found out there was a problem with our code and we got it fixed. So if you tried using it before and it wasn't working, get with Manscaped's customer support, let them know you had ordered something, tried using that and wasn't working, and hopefully they can get it back up and running for you or adding it to your order. And any orders going forward, NINDADS, NINDADS, should work to give you your 20% off and free shipping.
Nice. I trust that robot with my my genitals. I feel like he's got good advice on how to shave them.
All right, let's discuss. All right. I love that Robo Jesse did the ad read. So
Yes,
if you're interested in that, make sure you go back and listen to the one with the ad in case you're listening to ad-free version because it's well worth it.
it is.
All right. Topic for today for our let's discuss is the question that Marty put out to the community was if you could sit down with one creator or developer for coffee, who would it be and why? Gentlemen, I'll ask you what your answer is shortly, but let me go over our community's answer. First being Chris HL94, he would ask the people who made NHL 94 Rewind why they hate the Nintendo Switch so much and why that game is not out on the Switch. I agree. I think we need to set up that lunch date right now or that coffee date right now and then find out. And maybe Chris HL would be the one to convince them that they need to put it out on the Switch or the Switch successor. Next up, we got Victaris GX. He said, easy. Alex Pidgeotnov. Pidgeotnov. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Pidgeotnov.
Paginoff.
Pidgeotnov.
Maybe.
Tetris is a core memory in my head. Okay, so the guy who did Tetris.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Russian name.
Yes. I apologize to any Russians listening to this if I butchered that name. Hoots says Masario Sakurai?
Masahiro.
Masahiro, thank you. I should have you read the names. I'd want to know the secret to his work ethic and what I would need to do to adopt it. And if he thinks having a work ethic like that is worth it. That's a good one.
Show up to work with an IV drip. Why the hell not?
Yeah.
What can go wrong?
Your office would love you. All right. David Bulika said Jerry Lawson, the inventor, father of the video game cartridge. Would love to hear his thoughts about the idea and what he would think of how it affected the video game industry moving forward. Love it. Mecha Dragon says, I want coffee with Suda 51. From what I saw online, that guy is bat stuff crazy in a good way.
Yeah, we should just ask Gary because he's had a chance to talk to him.
Nice. Yes. I remember that. That was a while ago. Solo said, Jonathan Stats, described as the hero of the WoW dev team. He developed for the golden era of Blizzard WoW, the most famous raids that has brought so much social connection, growth of how to find your place in a team of other in real life gamers, and a culture that has become a hidden language among WoW players. Just say, run away, little girl, run away, and those in the crowd will laugh. Would love to share memories and deep appreciation for his work, helping me through a rough emotional time in my life.
Yeah. Here's wish I had a Leroy Jenkins audio cue.
Leroy Jenkins.
Nice. So, gentlemen, what do you have? Who would you want to meet up for coffee and why?
Man,
So mine's
like, go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, mine's probably not a big surprise if you know me. I picked Yuji Horii, one of the creators of Dragon Quest.
Nice.
Like he was there for the beginning, and he worked on 11. I don't know if he's working on 12, but he's still with the company, and he is 70 years old.
It's kind of like saying Akira Toriyama would also be a great pick for this because that would work.
He would have been my first pick if
rip.
if he was still with us.
For
Didn't
sure.
say they could. Didn't say. I guess they have to have coffee, so we're assuming no necromancy is involved.
I would prefer not.
Man, yeah.
Maybe if you had the holodeck, but
right. Because I look at like Miyamoto would be the most obvious. Like, oh, let's go have it with Miyamoto. I also think of like Satoshi Tajiri, that's the creator of Pokemon. I would really like to talk to him and just. I think that would be interesting to talk. His impact on the gaming world is nuts. Cliffy B too. I actually would like to go see. We just talk to that guy because he's had his hands and paws in so many things, and he's such a great personality in the game world. But probably Shigeru Miyamoto would be number one with the bullet.
Nice. For me, it would be Yoshi Sakamoto. So heavily involved with Metroid games, and now with the upcoming Famicom Detective game that's coming up,
Mm.
the MEO Smiling Man game. So I think it would be cool to hang out with him. So and
Yeah.
kind of
If I were to pick someone from Nintendo, I would go Kondo-san.
Actually, I just remembered. I just thought of this. Yoshinori Nishiki, he's the composer for my favorite game, Octopath Traveler.
there you
And
go.
that's like the greatest. I like that game. Oh man, we could just have a podcast on that soundtrack with me and get off my soapbox. But he'd actually, that's number one right now. Him and and obviously Miyamoto so would be my top
Yeah.
two.
Oh, well, I would, if you're gonna add composers, I would say Kenji Yamamoto,
I'm
okay,
going to
who
lose.
also
Oh,
did
that's a
the
great pick
Metroid ones there too. So
because it says creator or dev. So I'm thinking, what they created the soundtrack. I'm kind of
Yeah,
stretching it a little
music
bit.
creation is a thing.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
creator for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that would be my number one with the stamp, just
I'll,
because of
since mine both work together, I can have both of them
love it,
together in a
love it.
the coffee table.
Yeah, I mean, and then like Shigeru or Miyamoto-san is a banjo player. They're both all music guys. That's the other thing too. Music guys role.
Yes.
You
Let's see.
remember he started out as an artist, like
Mm-hmm.
literal drawing artist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ebicel says the creator of the Wonder Swan,
Ooh,
or Nabu
Final Fantasy
Umatsio.
composer.
Final, yeah.
Yeah, that one would be
So
pretty great
got a
too.
couple of those there, and then of course Victorious. Vic is trying to correct me on my pronunciation of the Russian person.
Yeah. And
I'm not
Fredo
gonna.
says, my body is ready to talk to Reggie.
Yes,
Oh
there
yeah,
you go.
Reggie be a good pick. Yeah, that'd be
Reggie is a
good.
good one for
Yes.
sure.
He also said the creator of Picross for me.
Of course. All right. That's it. That's what we got for the question this week. So thanks, Marty, for posting that out. That was a great question. And maybe one day, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Nintendo will ask us all to meet up with our favorite people some way, some way. How?
Yeah.
All right. Looks like our next topic is what we've been playing. Casey. Casey Cool.
Yes, that's my name.
You are our guest host today. You get
Yeah.
to go first. What you been playing, sir?
Well, I had my close friend Eric come to visit, and we were trying to play couch co-op games. We played like Mario Party with our kids, which my daughter loves and my son hates because he hates the randomness of it all. And uh,
Totally
but he
fair.
won. He won finally, which is besides the point. Still didn't make him like the game, but he saw me like on my load screen. He saw the games like, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh, that's Death Road to Canada." And he's like, "Can we play?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's multiplayer." And he goes, "This is like Trailer Park Boys, the video game meets D&D." Is the best way he described. Uh, Death Road Canada. I don't know if either of you have played that game. Came out in 2016, and it's just like $15 on the eShop. I got it on a $5 sale, and it's great because it's a roguelike in a way because you build your team and you're trying to make it to Canada, but there's some random outcome tables. So there's some, behind the scene like how you spec. But then every once in a while you have to fight hordes of zombies in between and get to your car.
I like how you
And
called random outcome tables.
yeah, it's just round and outcome
True
like it's
DM thing there.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, my Eric texted me today because he bought it and he goes, yeah, his name he made. And if you make characters, sometimes they can appear in your playthrough. He's like, yeah, I was driving with Roshi and he decided to drive us all off a cliff because he was upset with us and it ended my run. And I was like, oh, cool. And it was just a story prompt. It's not like you see it; you just see it. It's like he decided to end it all. You're all, Sometimes you can make some bad choices. Um, then yeah, I got the expansion to World of Warcraft because I have buddies who still want to play it, and they've made it very casual, which is nice. I've enjoyed that, but I will not be playing at launch, not because I'm not interested. I'm just busy with like football and a million other things coming up. But the game that I put a lot of time back into is Eden Chronicles, which is 100 Heroes. It's a game that I backed in April. It came out, And the Switch launch, I did a quick look on our YouTube channel here at Nintendo Dads, and it was bad on the Switch. It was really boggy, really slow. There's just like some quality of life things. I find myself when I play it, I'm enjoying it. There's like really good sprite art, there's really good characters, and the battling's okay. But I rather just like I'm like, man, I would almost kind of want to do another run of Octopath, or I should finally start Persona 5 because I have Persona 5 Royale just staring at me in the face. I'm like, I think I'd really like you, and it just like it didn't do some things that are quality of life things initially, and even in the pre-patch like it runs much better and it's still fun. And there's this cool mini part of the game, like there's so many layers of mini games. There's a fishing mini game, which is a standard in a JRPG, but there's parts where your city gets invaded and you have to move troops. So what was the old game on PS2 with the famous like samurai game where you move the armies? It's like Total War. Oh, what is that called? I can't think of it. But anyway, it's like that where you're moving
Don't
actual
know.
armies to
Don't
fight.
think I played that one.
Yeah, and dang, it's
Did it have a?
that's gonna be one.
Is it
I wake up in the
Odin
middle of the night. Was it
Odin Sphere?
not Odin Sphere?
No,
It's
that was more of a hack and slash platformer thing from
No.
Vanillaware.
Oh wait, no. I guess maybe I'm thinking of a different game then.
it's like
I thought
wanna
it was
call
the one where you're moving the armies around and then you throw a giant.
Kessen. Kessen is its name. Kessen. Like Koei, Kessen. It is the one
Okay.
where you're moving the armies around.
I was thinking of a different game. So
Kessen, you got Kessen, you're like, what is this? And then you got Dynasty Warrior, and you're like, oh, this is what I wanted. Like that was as a kid. And then you realize Kessen's actually pretty cool and ahead of its time. But yeah, it's got that to it. It's just, it's so. And then the game I'm most I'm on the fence about. I've been looking at the TMNT Splintered Fate game, and Marty told me it's Hades Ninja Turtles. So if you like Hades, and I was like, I've never played Hades, but everyone says it's a Casey game, and I'm about to go on a trip to the Oregon coast for a week, and I was thinking about downloading that because my son got to download the Demon Slayer game because he's been really more anime dads. That's been the most watched thing in our house. We just finished the final season, and now we're waiting for the final 3 movies. But he started reading the manga, which whatever gets him reading, I'm like, yep, go ahead. Let's yep.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's obsessed. So that's what I've been playing.
Awesome.
What about you, Tim?
For me, I've been playing World Championship NES Edition just for a little bit because of the monthly mayhem that's been going on in our Discord. So I did a little bit of that at the beginning, but then I had to stop because I've been playing these other games. But I played Boomerang Fu with Sam. We had a blast bringing that up again, downloading some of the DLC that we missed out on. That's a really fun multiplayer, local multiplayer. I wish they would come out with online multiplayer because I think the community would have fun with that for a bit too. Then Justin's recommendation, the bow Path of the Teal Lotus. I downloaded that and I played the first level, got to the first boss, and he told me the first boss was hard, and the boss is hard. I just every time I go to play it, it's at the end of the day where I'm kind of like drained, and I'm like, why am I going to try this boss right now? So I need to play it more at the beginning of the day. So maybe during the weekend I'll go back to that, try to see if I can get a run at this last boss. But basically, the bow Path of the Teal Lotus is a Metroidvania game. Looks beautiful, kind of like a oh, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the game. Ori kind of looks really nice like that. But the characters, also I think I think Justin said it kind of has the Okami feel to it too as well. That water painting type feel. Looks great. Had a lot of fun with it. With my just a little bit that I've been able to play, but it's definitely a Metroid Dread type level of difficulty, at least for me. If you're into that kind of stuff, then it's probably going to be no problem for you. For anybody else who wants to try it.
Kind of the art style too.
Yeah,
of the kitsune. Yeah,
I'm sorry, you must not have heard me say that.
No. Sorry, yeah, I think I heard that. Sorry,
you were probably reading when I said that. So
yes, I was looking. Yeah,
But cool, yeah. So yeah, what else are you seeing there on that for that game? It's
It more looks like actually Hollow Knight to me meets Okami. That's what I was looking
okay.
for. Could you say that? But it kind of like the thick lines of Hollow Knight to me,
I didn't
right?
play Hollow Knight, so that if that
That's
if you
where
did,
I
that's
guess how
probably
Hollow
what.
Knight looks. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
for sure. All right. I like where it's going. I just again I have to be in the mindset just like I was with my Metro Dread to be in that, figure out the pattern, attack this boss and then move on. So,
It's hard. Would you say?
yeah,
Like, yeah.
at least for this first boss, like building up to it, it was like, oh, this is cool. I'm having no problems, but then that first boss was like there's a certain pattern that I'm just when I get to the end of the boss, I just can't figure out the end pattern. And I'm like, I
Mm,
keep dying. And I'm like, I just probably not in the right mental state for it. Cause like I said, I'm ending my day, I'm in bed or good,
yeah.
ready to go to bed. And I'm like, this is not going to be a quick thing. So I need to be in a better mindset for that.
Hard games like that are hard at the end of the day when you're
Yeah. Yeah. At the
toast, I
end of the
feel
day, for
like.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that an old man thing? Is that me just being
I,
I felt that way as a kid too, be like, I'm too tired for this. Like,
like I said, I'm getting up there with Jesse where, he's going to be 50 if he's not already. I'm going to be 50 next year. So I'm not trying to make that as an excuse. It's just part of life. I think my coordination is off,
mm,
and plus I don't play games all the time. Like, like
yeah.
when we were younger or even the kids nowadays are playing all the time. I just don't have that time to be able to stay on top of it. But anyways, going on to the rest of the games, Atari 50, the anniversary celebration. I got through the rest of the documentary portion of the game. So I learned about a lot more about Atari's history, which was fantastic. That is again because as I mentioned before, Atari, I'm more nostalgic to, especially the 5200, the worst selling system. uh, but that's what we had at my house.
Yeah,
So
I've needed to go back and go through the rest of the documentary. I did a video on, I think, a live stream of it. I was focusing more on the games than the documentary, probably because copyright stuff might have been a
yeah,
problem. But
that makes sense.
I never went back and to go through those, so I should do that sometime.
I really like this way. I don't know how long I'm gonna like this, but the ones that I've picked up that was it digital we talked about this before. Digital whatever their the second part of their name is. I can't remember it. Not Digital Foundry, it's Digital something.
Eclipse.
Digital Eclipse. Yeah, thank you. Um they do a great job. They've done several versions of these type of interactive documentaries that I really like. Um and the Atari one I wanted to finish, and it was really cool. And there's even something that after finishing the timeline, something cool happens. I don't want to ruin it for you, Jesse. Um, and then there are hidden games that you can unlock too in the library of games, and you have to play certain games to unlock these other games. Certain things
Okay.
happen. So, like I think one of them is if you go into the haunted house game and I forget exactly the path, but if you go to a dead end, you find something there and you're able to unlock one of the games in the anniversary celebration. So, which I thought was really cool. It's like 5 games like this, and I had to look it up because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to figure all this out, but there's like 5 hidden games in there. So again, that's really cool. There were bits and pieces of the Atari history that I learned more about that I didn't know about, and especially I got to learn that even though the Atari 5200 was not a successful device, Star Raider, which was my favorite game on the system, is um, regarded as one of the best versions of Star Raider on the 5200.
I think I played
So,
the 2600 version of that. It came with like an extra, like a keypad
yes.
controller that you'd put into the player 2 slot. So you had the joystick with a button and then a 12 button keypad.
Yeah. Yep, the good old keypad. So, and I got to learn a lot more too about the future stuff that Atari tried to do, like the Lynx, their handheld device, and the Jaguar, and then their arcade machines, and then their computers that they went and did a run on. So it was a lot of history there that I invite a lot of people who are listening to check out on the Atari 50 anniversary celebration game. Well worth it, and I think there's even more DLC coming out for it if there isn't already, or an update I think that's coming. That's another reason why I wanted to finish it too, so I could see the difference between the original version of this and then the updated version that's going to come out. All right. And then, like I said earlier, Arranger, a role puzzling adventure I played. I have the first look dropped today. I am loving this game because you don't move the character, you move the world to make the character move. So, and basically you're taking the character down certain paths, making the path move so the character moves down that path. And then if there's any obstacles, you have to figure out how to get around that. So there's puzzle solving. If there's any monsters, you got to figure out how to find a weapon on a path to get that weapon in your path to destroy the monster, to get that monster out of the way, to keep moving down the path you're going. You know what? I can't remember if there's a demo for this. Because again, I've been playing different games and I can't remember which one had a demo and which one didn't. I think this one would be very beneficial if it doesn't have a demo. It should. I think a lot of people get a good
does
kick out of
not
it.
have a demo, but it's currently on sale until the 8th for
Okay.
10% off. So
Excellent.
$18 instead of $20.
It is a different, laid back, perfect game for before you go to bed. Because you can use some of those mind muscles, just kind of relax and figure out some of these puzzles and then go to sleep, which is what I did before. So highly recommend Arranger, a role puzzling adventure, and checking out the first look on that if you'd like to see what that game's about. I think that was an hour video I did, so you can check out a lot of the beginning content of that to see if that game's for you. I've also been playing a few other games that, again, I talked about earlier that will have videos out on once the embargo lifts on August 1st or July 31st. Trinity Fusion, Mars 2120, and Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Trinity Fusion is a action adventure roguelike game where you have 3 different characters that you play and have to make a run with in order to solve the mysteries of this world. And the 3 of your characters are connected by this one character in the Citadel, kind of like connects mentally or psychically and helps you navigate the worlds together. And then one of the cool things that you can do is you can, trying to be careful, actually, I slipped. I said cool. But anyways, one of the things that you can do in the game is that you can fuse, that's the fusion part, with another character that you control when you get to certain portals in the level, so that you can have the abilities of both the characters to be able to navigate and do the Metroidvania type thing in the world, where if you can't reach a certain spot, if you fuse with one of the other characters you have access to, then you might be able to access that spot in that map. So that was one of the cool things that there I go again, cool things. That's one of the things you can do in the game. And I'll be showing more of that on
getting canceled right now.
Right, getting canceled. So Mars 2120 is a Metroidvania game through and through. There will be more details about that coming up in the video. And then Star Wars Bounty Hunter is that game that was back out on the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox 360 that Spire has ported over to the Switch and other consoles. So I have that, and there will be a first look of that on the 31st. The other 2 will be on August 1st. So those are the games I've been playing. I'll have more I'll talk about probably in the next episode on those games I couldn't talk about much now. And that's it for me. Jesse, what games have you been playing?
Okay, so I have quite a big list this week. We'll start with Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. I apparently Tim missed this part of the game, but the actual World Championship part where there's 5 challenges, and then that's the one that actually gets ranked both globally and with your age group. And I think the best ranking I received out of any of the games was like 85th percentile. So like bottom 15%. And in terms of just people of my age, I think I got a 66th percentile somewhere. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm apparently lousy at this game.
I totally skipped over that part of it. Like I said, I only went straight to the boards that I had to do for the monthly mayhem and then bought my way to the other ones. So
Yeah, so I think I did the 5 for this week. This weekend. I'll have to double check them before the timer expires Monday morning. But
There's a world ranking board, right? For you compared to everyone else who plays online. Is that how
yeah,
it works? I would assume.
that's
yeah.
one of the
Is there one
sections. Yeah.
person that dominates most of the games? Do you guys know when you look at the leaderboards, or is it
I think
like
the number 1 player was unique on every game,
that's cool?
That is
and
cool.
then you're able to actually look at the ghost run of that number 1 player.
Oh, interesting. This is a game I feel like I could lose a lot of hours to, depending on because I would get really
It
like
is.
I'm gonna get the record for this and be number one, and that is
I,
my goal. And this is my personality now.
I was doing that with the egg one, the egg toss one. So for the
Okay.
monthly mayhem, I was like, I could get this score. And for a minute there, I had the best time, I should say, on that. But then of course, people came in and beat that time by a few seconds, but
You got a
milliseconds.
screenshot it though. You still had your moment in the sun.
I had my moment for a moment. But
Yeah,
Jesse,
I don't remember which one was, but I had the best score for a bit too on one of them.
yep. We had our
Partially because
moments.
it was one of the first submissions, but
Yes. Jesse, while we're on the subject of NES Edition Nintendo World Championship, do you want to answer that question we got from our community?
uh, which one was it?
From the
Or was that
voicemail?
the voicemail? Yeah, sure. We'll hit the voicemail.
My name is Colin. Have you beaten any legend modes and championships?
So they're asking if so Colin's asking if we beat any of the legend mode. So each of the 13 games, the the last option that costs 300 coins to unlock is the legend. And so far, I've unlocked 7. I've completed 6, of which 3 of them I got an A plus, 1 I have an A plus plus, and 2 of them I have an S. I think I have an S on Zelda 2 and Donkey Kong.
I unlocked them all and got all S ranks. No.
Liar.
I did not touch them at all, so I have 0 and no grades.
Interesting.
So.
I haven't played it. I'm this game, man, is so many cool stuff. I'm curious, do you think they would try to get some other like NES classics that aren't Nintendo proper, like a Mega Man in here or like a Final Fantasy, where you might try to like, hey, guess what? We're adding a game from this if it got I don't know.
Funny you should ask that. Darth Platypus asked that question actually in from our community. What games would you want to be included if the Big N put out a Super Nintendo Championship Edition or SNES Championship Edition?
Castlevania, for sure. But I guess that's the same thing because that would be Castlevania's Konami.
Super Punch Out.
Super Punch Out, or just regular Punch Out. That should be on there too. Yeah, get some Punch Out on there. Star Fox,
Super Metroid,
Super Metroid, Super Mario,
Super Mario World, A Link to the Past.
Link to the Past.
Yes, I've watched a lot of people do those randomizer runs with Link to the Past. They should take advantage of that too. What else would be good on SNES?
That would be
Mario
kind of
Kart.
cool. That I know you brought up the Konami game, the Castlevania, but that would be kind of cool if, like, even for the NES edition, like if they came out with the game and they did some DLC, if the DLC was companies allowing them to use their games
Yeah.
for these speed runs or whatever. So that would be super cool if they did that.
I would like to see that. Yeah. Mario Kart would be great on the SNES too.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Pilot Wings.
F-Zero, Pilot Wings. Yeah.
Wow. Going back to the NES one, if they did DLC, I wonder if they could put pro wrestling in there somehow. some sort of pro wrestling thing.
Or what is the other one that everyone was Fire Pro? What's that wrestling? It's the big
Well, the
one.
pro wrestling one was the one I used to play a lot with my friends with the Starman in it and stuff.
Yes. Yes. Isn't that Fire Pro Wrestling now? Isn't that what that is?
Well, maybe that's the Japanese name for it. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the name for it there.
Let me think. Let me think.
Yeah, I think it was just pro wrestling here.
Yeah, just for here is it's just that.
I would like to see like something more slower paced, like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest.
That'd be cool.
You know, like grind to level 3, beating
Yeah.
as many slimes as you can, or
Sure.
or you know, beat the Dragon Lord, and you're just right up there, right in front of his face, and you have to just do the final boss fight, and that could take 10, 15 minutes.
In the
depending
least
on
amount of turns possible. Like, so you can do it in the most, like, get the best RNG.
Oh,
Earthbound would be
and
interesting on
the
SNES.
Super Nintendo one and SimCity.
Oh, Mother. Yeah.
Mother and SimCity.
Earthbound Beginnings. Yeah.
I think that would be interesting if they could do a SimCity thing. That would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the Mother series, something from the Earthbound Mother series. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff there. But I figured since we were talking about the game, and that would be cool to talk about that, those questions around that. So thanks for those questions from Colin and Darth Platypus. So sorry, Jesse. Go ahead with the rest of your list there.
Okay, so I last week I mentioned I got the MetaQuest 3, so I tried Vegas Infinite on that, and I've been playing. I played it for over a year on the PlayStation VR, and haven't touched it in over a month. So I picked this one up. First thing I did was, one of the things that this version has that the PlayStation 1 doesn't is multi-table tournaments. So I signed up for a 20,000 chip tournament where it was a satellite into a bigger tournament later. So by the end of it...
And you took everybody's money, right?
Not quite, but I did well in this first tournament. By the time all the late registration ended, I think there was 16 tables total. So at least 15 times 8 is 130-ish. So there was a 130-ish, 135, 138 people in this thing, where the top 13 won a entry into a million chip tournament.
Whoa.
And then the 14th player just got like a lump sum of chips. That was a little bit, it was like 114,000 chips. So it was like a little, almost 6 times the buy-in price.
Nice.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, no, go ahead, Jesse. Sorry.
Okay, so I got 12th place. So I won a ticket into the million chip entry.
Okay.
Which was at midnight Eastern that same day, and this was Sunday. So I'm like, okay, if I go deep in this tournament, Monday is going to be a rough day. But I last 20 minutes before I'm knocked out, so that didn't last long.
Did you get real money from that?
No.
Oh, okay.
You can buy chips with real money, but you cannot cash it back out.
Yeah, that's the next step. DraftKings is coming to VR, and you're gonna start being able to gamble on VR. No, have you seen the VR game I Am Cat, where you're the cat and the grandma chases you, and you just cause havoc in grandma's house? I need that video of Jesse playing I Am Cat. You're just an orange ginger cat.
That's a system seller right there.
Yeah, that's I've been wanting to get VR from it. The videos you find on the internet are hilarious. Like, it's a cat, he takes the pan, he throws it at the grandma, he knocks the grandma down. Or
I have seen that. Now
yeah.
that you mentioned it. Yeah.
He turns the ovens on, so he's like, I'm starting a fire. He's like, come get me. And then, or he takes the ashes. Here's Grandpa, and he throws Grandpa and breaks the ashes. It's him adding the VR. But I Am Cat, it reminds me, it gives me like a Goose Game vibes for VR.
Yeah, for sure. That's what Little Kitty Big City was for me.
It
was like the Untitled Goose Game for me, but you're a cat and you're doing those same things, but not VR.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun with that.
We need
So,
more games where we can be cats that cause mischief. I think, guys, we need
Sure.
to. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Stray and Little Kitty Big City, but both of those games I absolutely adored playing a cat. It was so much fun. So, all right.
Mhm.
Sorry, Jesse.
Okay,
Lots to
so
talk
one
about
more.
with your games.
Yeah, apparently. So one more Nintendo game is called Sirkwitz. Sirkwitz. It's a free download on Steam, and it's basically kind of like not really programming, maybe a little bit of programming, but it's a small little puzzle game. There's only 28 puzzles in it, and I finished the first 14. So like the first 7 puzzles, you basically this little robot on a circuit board with there's some damaged cells. Excuse me. So you have to tell it, kind of program it in advance. You go forward, turn left, turn right, or repair the cell you're standing on. And there's so much energy per level, and each option is an energy, so you can't waste your motions. And then when you say go, then it follows the path, and if you did everything right, then you've repaired all the damaged cells, and you go on to the next level. If you make a mistake, you try to weld a cell that is working. You'll self-destruct. If you're not able to walk off the path, so if you turn early and try to go forward, you'll just stop, and then you'll through any future programming will just lose your place. Then the second set of 7 levels adds a feature where something like you're creating a subset of instructions. So you have the main set and a subset. So say the subset is move forward to and weld. So in your main set would be turn, execute the subset, turn, execute the subset, and then so you'll turn, move to weld, turn, move to weld. So you're kind of creating a subroutine.
Okay.
The
And this
third
is a
set
free
is
game, right? You said this
this
was
is free.
free?
This is free.
Okay.
So the third set is the same thing, but now gives you 2 sets of sub options, and you're able to mix and match. So you can hit. I haven't attempted any of these puzzles yet, but so you can have in your main, move, execute the first subset, then you turn, execute the second subset, turn, execute the first subset again, or you can actually nest your sub calls. So turn, call your first subroutine, which can then call the second subroutine and then backfill. So you're able to now you have nested subroutines basically, and then I think the bottom 7 stages has 3 sets of subroutines. So I didn't get into the more complicated ones yet, but if you like that type of logic puzzle, again, this is free on Steam. Again, Sirkwitz, Kwitz. Give that a try. I sent Blanco a link, not realizing that I tagged him specifically first. He just says the only people who would play this game is you and me, and he goes, "Oh, you tagged me. Okay." Okay, so I have 2 games left. They're both on Switch. The first one is the new Denpa Men. I don't know if any of y'all played any of the DS games or 3DS games, or forget what maybe DSi. I don't remember what they were. So they were. I remember liking the first game. Might have even finished it. I don't remember.
It always reminded me of not Tamagotchi Life. It's the one where the Metopia.
Okay, yeah,
it's Life. Yeah.
It's kind of like a turn-based RPG where you basically capture these creatures, Denpa Men, from this tower. Like you throw like these webbing nets against a wall, and you hope to catch them. Start of the game, you pick a party of 4, and then you're able just to go on these dungeon runs. Excuse me. But with the turn-based combat is kind of similar to say Dragon Quest. By I mean, you don't really see your party. You're seeing the line of enemies like in a first-person view, and then you say you want to attack them, you want to defend, or you want to run, and that's really you don't have any more control than that. So what they do is automatic based on whatever programming they have. If they have a skill that they're able to trigger, like a heal spell or a res spell or a buff spell, then they'll try to trigger it. If they don't, if everyone's at full health, they're not going to try to heal anyone, and then they'll just do a normal attack. And then so it's, a lot of this back and forth. So it's this is a mobile game. It wants to try to hide itself, but it's not doing a good job at hiding itself. So again, this is a free to download and play game.
That's my hang up with that Ninja Turtles game, because it was an Apple Arcade game. Do you sometimes have a hard time buying a game that's an iPhone game and playing it on your Switch like that, or like a Android game? I guess a mobile game.
Well, if it was a game that played like a game, then not really. I'm fine with that.
Like Vampire Survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is you have so much stamina that you have to wait and recharge. You get daily bonuses. And I'm not a fan of that type of thing. I don't like it on my mobile phone. I really don't want it on my Switch. So I played 3 days worth. I did 1 dungeon each day. So while you have a total of 5 stamina, so I could have done 5 dungeons if I wanted to, I just did 1 a day. It's because that was enough for me. I was able to beat the first dungeon, leveled up my party to about level 5. It says level 2 recommends level 6 characters. I went in with my level 5s. I was able to beat it, and I was level 10s at the end. The third dungeon recommends a level 11. So again, I got it. I got to the final boss. They were all. Oh, and now that I got to the third dungeon, I can add 2 more characters to my party. Total of 6. So I have to go and catch 2 new ones, which means they're level 1s. They're very vulnerable, but they will XP up fast. So when I got to the boss, I entered it with this level 11 dungeon with 4 level 10s and 2 level 1s. Got to the main boss with the 10s were up to 14 and the 1s were up to 11 or 12. And they did not survive. They lost. When you lose, you're able to pay, again, another mobile feature, premium currencies. I've received 2 Jools of their premium currency through gameplay. Before the boss, starting with the second dungeon, you can spend a Jool to get into a place where you can heal your party and get some free money. I did that on the second dungeon. I did not do it in the third because my party was already full up. I didn't need, and I only have 1 Jool left, so I didn't want to waste it. So I went in with full hit points, full mana, and couldn't beat it. But when I lost, if I could have paid my Jool to continue the fight full health again from where I left off, had I done that, I could have finished the fight because I had him down to about 40-45%. Didn't want to do that, so I just said I will abandon this dungeon. When you abandon the dungeon, you save your gold you collected. I think you save your XP you collected, but you lose any items that you collected and or equipped. So you basically come out with the same equipment that you started with. So if I go in again to try again, I'll have to recollect and re-equip the gear that was in that stage. So kind of not fun. So I don't think I'm going to play more anymore. I did I tried 3 dungeons in 3 days. That was enough. If I don't, I might go back and play the original one on the DS or 3DS or whatever system was to see if how that feels different. Because I remember liking that one. I just don't remember why or how. But
Okay.
okay,
I
the
can't
last
remember.
game.
Did you say
Go ahead.
the new Denpa Men where it was a free game, or did you have to pay for that one?
That's free. Oh, and
That is
funny thing, it launched on Monday, but I didn't see it in the North American eShop. I saw it in the Australian one and I saw it in the Japanese one, so I actually downloaded it from the Japanese eShop. Then it did show up in the North American eShop on Tuesday, so I don't. Even though the website still says it released on Monday, so I don't know why there was a disconnect there. But it's in the North
interesting.
American eShop now as a free download.
Okay.
And then the last one, which I did pay for, might have been $10. Okay, get this long name. Yeah, you want those games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them. Two. The first game wasn't on the Switch, but I remember buying it on Steam and playing it, and yeah, it's what it sounds like, and it wasn't that fun. So I tried to, and it's more of the same. Not that great. It is what it sounds like. So the game, the games in this package are, you seen those mobile ads where they show gameplay and it's kind of a fake game. The real game isn't really that play; it's something else. This is a game consisting of those games that are fake games. So games include knockback shooter, deflect the ball and knock it into your enemies. And all the characters are just stick figures. So no solid color, no texture.
Oh wow.
Pin pull 2, remove the pins and clear the mission. Numbers dungeon, boost your numbers to defeat the enemies. That's you are 3, the enemies are 5, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
But if you are 5 and the enemy's 3, you attack it, you are now 8. And then, that's that stupid thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Spellbinding scroll, boost your numbers to hold everyone spellbound. It's the auto-scrolling shooter where you have to shoot the right target in the right order, otherwise you're not going to have enough. You're not going to be able to do enough damage to kill it, and then you waste your shots.
Got it.
Draw and guard. Draw lines to protect the kitty from bats. So you have, you draw a line, and then physics engine takes over, and then these bats fly around trying to get to the cat. Yeah, if the bats do not reach the cat within like 10 seconds, then you win the round. But the bats can manipulate the shield you draw, so it can actually pick it up, move it out of the way. So you have to find ways to anchor it down, or it's weird.
These are all single player games?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, those are all the games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of mini games in this thing. Again, this was, I think maybe it was $10. But yeah, they're not great. Don't recommend
catch it on a sale. Catch it on a sale.
Sure. But I tried these games so you don't have to, right?
Yes. That's hilarious.
Okay.
Very cool.
It's the long name
that
kind of caught my attention.
Yeah. I appreciate you playing these games.
And it's all caps and punctuated when those games are in quotes.
Yes.
Weird move.
It's got to be a SEO thing, right?
or it's just one of those people that like, hey, we're so edgy and we're trying to be hard to be edgy, so this is our brand of humor.
Well, they called Jesse's attention there, so.
Yeah. True.
All right, those are the games we've been playing. Let's move on to our community spotlight. All right, since it's Koopa Kid 80's birthday, or soon to be, or he said it's his birthday when he asked this question.
I think it was his birthday today.
All right. he asked, what's your favorite type of birthday cake?
Confetti. I'm so
Okay.
simple. Red velvet's up there, but confetti cake just always is like, yeah. I'm never disappointed with confetti cake.
Yeah, I
Actually, I'm
just
gonna
say
take a real
like,
hard stance. I don't like cake either.
ooh,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
my daughter doesn't like cake either. So
I'd rather
that's
have
not,
cookies or something else.
yep. She's about that or ice cream. She'll take,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I am a chocolate cake person.
Okay. Very nice. And I don't prefer cake either. I'll eat it. I think it tastes great, but I mean, if there's ice cream, I'll take that or both. But
Ice cream
but
cake. Now we're talking though,
ice cream
right?
cake, yeah, is like a Dairy Queen ice cream cake or a Baskin Robbins ice cream cake. Yeah, I'll take all those. But the cake that I absolutely will like absolutely no doubt take is the Costco cake. Have you ever had a Costco cake before?
I
That
don't think I have.
frosting, that frosting, I don't know. They
Is it
must
just
put
a sheet
crack in
cake?
it. It's a sheet cake,
Okay.
but they put crack in that frosting. I swear they do.
I think it's called sugar, but all right, yeah,
And they
sure.
put some sort of drugs in there that make me want it more, is what the problem is. So, all right. What is the best game related or otherwise birthday gift ever received?
I mean, that Super Nintendo that we talked about, I got that when I was about to turn 7.
Oh,
I got it
nice.
like 2 weeks before it came out as an early birthday present.
My
So
problem
that would
is,
be
Nice.
as I
mine.
get older, I have a hard time differentiating the games that I got for my birthday, Father's Day, or Christmas. And I know, Jesse, you usually say you guys don't give each other gaming gifts
Right,
because so
because they don't know what I want, and if I want it, I normally buy it anyway.
yeah,
There's just some things I'd
So,
rather buy myself, right? I'm with that in there.
yeah.
so yeah, I
And
really
but
don't have an answer for that one. I can't think of anything.
there has been games, I just can't think of it right now, that my family's got me that it was like I didn't want to buy it for myself type of thing, and then they bought it
Yeah.
for me. Um, and it was like, oh, cool. And then another one that I always think of for some reason whenever I think of birthday is like it was one of the first years I was starting to get codes from the Nintendo dads.
Mm,
And one of the games that I got that was on my birthday list was the Need for Speed
great
game
games.
that came to the Switch
Mm,
and Paradise City. Um,
nice.
and the dads gave me that game to do. So that was like almost like a birthday gift for me. So I was like, sweet, because it's, I didn't have to, nobody had to buy it. I got it from the developer themselves for my birthday, is how I looked at it. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. I will add, I did get the N64 on my birthday too. For that coming
Nice.
out. Yeah, that was another one. Just because of the release times.
Very cool. What with the, I guess I'll s with my job and some birthday money, I picked up the N6, excuse me, not the N64, the Super Nintendo. Like I said, I had to buy it myself.
Yeah.
So I think that I would say with birthday money, that's how I picked that up. So, all right.
Again, yeah, those are good. Those are good. That's a good purchase. A birthday purchase gift is a good gift like that.
Yes. Where do you think the games industry will be on your 99th birthday?
Apps or in our brains, implanted in my Neuralink chip.
Yeah, streaming directly into your brain.
Yeah. I will be in the game. If I can upload my consciousness to it, actually, like Reboot. I don't know if you guys remember that random
Oh
cartoon.
my
Oh yeah, dude.
gosh.
I think about Reboot far too often. I loved Reboot. I liked Reboot. I'll admit it. It was ahead of its time. The animation, not great, but the story and what was going on, awesome. Right? If you got through the really bad. But that's like what those games looked like back then too, really
Yeah.
polygonal.
It's hard to go
Yeah.
back to watch those now for sure.
If I could upload, or like if you Ready Player One, Ready Player Two, right? Upload me into the Oasis
Yeah, yeah.
from there. I'll be
That
in
or
the
holodeck type thing, yeah, for sure.
yeah. Star Trek holodeck, yeah, easy.
All
What about you
right.
guys?
Same thing. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, any of those things, just
Yeah.
Plug me in matrix wise.
I'm
There
not
you go.
scared either. Some people are like, that's horrible. That's what. No, I'm good. Let me live subconsciously as a
Yep,
floating as numbers.
that works. Load me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Which one thing I forgot about when I talked about the MetaQuest, the battery that it comes with is when I did that tournament. There was about a 2 hour tournament that I got the 12th place on. I started it with 100% battery. When it was over, I was already down to like 30%. So I'm like, okay, so we're gonna have to find some way to recharge a battery device in our brain in real time
It,
to keep it powered.
it will just use the citizen watch effect, basically, where it uses your body to recharge itself.
It's
You'll
like
move your movement.
like when you brake in an electric car, it's used to recharge the batteries.
Yeah. And like the citizens watches that do the
Yeah,
Echo Drive, it uses, your motion to charge.
didn't know that was a thing, but it makes sense.
Yep. So, or maybe even solar powered. You get solar power on top of your head. All right. And by the way, Beer says it sounds like he agrees with the ice cream cake thing. So, all right. So Block asks, if you guys were Mega Man bosses, what would be your name and attack?
Teach man. I was thinking about this. I was looking about that. Or I'd be one of like the big cats that are the middle level boss. It would just be my head going blah, blah, and like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Right, just the middle.
'cause
But I
like
think,
the bigger enemies that take up half the screen.
yeah. Just in the middle, and it's a
In,
halfway boss. Yeah. Just one of those would be fun, I think. But I think I'd just go with the double down on the teacher thing, and I'd maybe have like a Zoro or not Zoro. That's One Piece. A Zero type style sword, but it's a ruler. So Mega Man, you could throw the ruler like as the, or maybe it's just a teacher that throws random objects like chalk, erasers, rulers, protractors at the enemy. So it's just a random draw. That would be my weapon. It'd be random ray, random, and it'd be a random item that like the protractor can bounce. The ruler just goes straight. You don't know what it's gonna
There
be.
you
It's like a
go.
1-5. That would be mine. Yeah. What about you, Jesse? What would your evil
I'm trying to
persona?
think of something that's kind of funny but kind of not.
We
I'm
already saw
thinking.
it. It's the Manscaped. It's Jesse Man.
I was thinking
Robo
more of something
Jesse.
like Geezer Man.
That'd be a funny one.
We have to remember to leave this question here for Marty next week too,
Just
so
don't
he
know
can
what type
answer
of
it.
attack I would have.
You shoot a cane if you're Geezer Man. You got to double
Get
down on
off,
the theme.
get
Get
off
off
my
my
lawn
lawn.
attack.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just
Mine
your fists doing this the whole time.
my name would be Neo Prime, and the attack would be I throw hats.
Neo Prime Man. You got to add a man
Okay.
or I have thought, right? I think so.
Neo Prime Man, and I throw hats.
Actually, I think Marty would help me with that because if you're Mega Man, you're a man or a woman, and if it's Mega Man X, it's some animal hybrid type animal too, or bot. So it depends. But yeah, Teacher Man, Neo Prime Man, throwing hats. I see it. And the hats would trap them. What would your level be like?
My level, it would
Yeah,
be
would it
a
be
level would be
platforms?
it would be full of pop culture trying to attack the person trying to get to me.
Nice. There you
My
go.
level would probably look like Paperboy.
Oh,
There you go.
love it.
Mine would be kind of Metroid-esque.
Mine would look like a school, right? Like
There you go.
they like part of the hallway's gym class. They have to dodge balls. Do.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That was a great question, Zablanc. I love it.
yeah.
We have to again, Jesse, we'll have to leave that question there for next week for Marty to answer.
Yeah.
And the last question is from Mecca. What would you think would be the ideal launch lineup for the next Switch? What IP should be present at the Switch 2 launch to entice people to buy it?
Super Switch launch. A new Mario. like a Mario
That
Odyssey
3D
2.
Mario that they keep rumoring about.
Yeah, if they do like something that's a follow-up to Bowser's Fury, but make it a full fleshed out game, maybe that could be interesting. But I think it'll be more like a Mario Odyssey or something like that. Metroid Prime 4, the Switch
Yeah.
version.
Well, it's too soon for a new big Zelda, so
Yeah,
maybe
that's
this
what I'm
is when
saying.
we see Wind Waker and Twilight Princess show up.
Could,
Get those
could.
ports, maybe even separately now, because you know how long we talked about having a Metroid Prime trilogy, and then I know everybody was talking
Yeah.
about a
Well, I could see them doing $60. I don't want them to go $70 each.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe they get some third party. Like, hey, I don't understand. I don't know if Sony has the full rights to FF16 or if it was like an exclusive for a time. And then so now like they're like because they've said they're not doing the after 7 remake, they're
Oh
done with
yeah,
exclusives.
I'm sure that'll hit PC if it hasn't already soon.
Yeah. So if it
Then
hits PC, that could be something like that they would promote maybe a new Bravely game because they're the people that make Octopath and Bravely just did a big survey. They want to make like a MMO type experience that encapsulates all those games. From it's weird. I did the fan questions because I'm all here for it, but I don't know. A new Mario Kart. Da da da. Bring back make Double Dash 2.
Oh, Double Dash would be so cool.
Double Dash
I
2.
miss Double Dash.
Yes. Double
Double
Dash 2
Dash
had a
2 would
cool
be
mechanic.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
And
then
just with
Friendo
that
says,
same
bring out Legs, the sequel to Arms.
I love it. The third game would be eyes, right? Yeah, or then ears.
I
Yeah.
see
Only double five parts. Feet, yes. That's gonna give it a
Quads.
fan
It would be
base.
called Quads.
Um, yeah, Mario Party would be the other big one. I'm trying to
glutes.
think.
Glutes. There you go.
God. Um, well, you know, and Capcom's been coming out talking about new Mega Mans. They're trying to figure out how to make Mega Man a yearly release. With that Mega Man question, that got me thinking too. They want to make more Mega Mans.
Mm.
Well, I think a yearly release is pushing it.
Yeah,
But
but
I did see some of the articles, something along the lines of all their IP, it is currently the one that people want the
people want the
most. Or
most. They could do something though, like this year is a Mega Man Battle Network. This year's a Mega Man. This year's a Mega Man X. This year's a Mega Man Legends. This year's a Mega Man sports game. Mega Man Soccer
Mega Man
rules.
Legends 3, you cowards.
Yeah,
Right.
do it, you wimps. I'd be all for it, but I don't know. Mario Kart would be the big one because it's just time, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know what they do with Smash. I think they just port Smash over and then
Yeah,
do
it'll be a Super Mario. It'll be a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe.
yeah, like same character, maybe a couple more levels. I don't know who you add to Smash. Like, I think part of the allure would be to get it to 100 characters, maybe.
Mm.
You know, like that. There's
Yeah.
something to that.
I have a feeling they're not going to keep stacking. I think they're going to have to do a reboot.
They might just to balance the game. But I don't.
That's
Do
the
you think
other
Sakurai
opposite,
wants to
right?
do it? He's like, keep me out there.
I think it's possible that maybe Sakurai won't be the lead on it, but
Yeah.
maybe be a
But
consultant on it
Yeah,
and let somebody else.
he is retiring his YouTube channel. I'm presuming because he's got a project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got
And
work.
you know, I hope they do more with like. Anyway, that's a different thing.
Kid Icarus,
Kid
Uprising.
Icarus. Yeah, just make that, but where for the Switch, that'd be
Yes.
great.
Bring that over to Switch too.
I'm trying to think some other like gems that were on 3DS or Wii U. They brought over the really great Wii U games. I know. Oh, okay. Everyone talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X. If
Yes.
they relaunched that for the Switch too, made a reversion of that, but like, how many games do you think there'd probably be 4, right? Like 4 big titles, maybe 5, and then like third-party games.
Yeah, I think it's a small number that has to entice you to, why am I buying this?
Yeah.
Type of thing. It would be because, I can get this and play it this way.
Yeah.
Well, they all
But
don't
we
have to
have
be
the-
day ones, as long as say in the first 2 or 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure
in
there'll
the
be
window, the
plenty of
release window.
third party stuff. We're not going to
Release
release
window
sword
for
on
sure.
games by
Yeah.
any means.
I think day one though, you probably, if they're gonna get people to move it, they're gonna get a new Mario Kart and a new 3D Mario of some sort.
There's probably
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be like, and probably some Nintendo funded small game experience like Snipper Clips
Sure.
was.
Yeah, or something weird off the wall thing. I think it'd be
Maybe
a new. It
maybe
has to be a new
Splatoon
Mario
4
Kart.
is ready by that time too.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe that. Um,
Or all jokes aside, maybe there is an ARMS too.
two arms.
They'll probably have a clever name for it for sure. But
For sure.
if I think if they're smart about it, if they do come out with one or the other, it has to be a bigger window to separate the two between ARMS and Splatoon instead of doing them so close before like they did. But they didn't know probably because they didn't know what they had either when they brought
For
out
sure.
ARMS. So, and especially if they have no idea about a Smash Bros, if there's going to be a fighting game, come out with ARMS too, or ARMS also, whatever you want to call it.
Or arms and legs.
Or arms and legs, yes. But I think it would be really cool if they came out with a sequel to that game, and that way it gives time for whatever they decide to do with Super Mario Bros.
I have one question for both of you before we end the show. Sorry, it's on the show doc, but I always like to ask this. We're at the halfway point of the year with games and stuff. We're like, we're getting near the end.
Mhm.
What's your most anticipated game in the second half of the year?
The Zelda game, probably. I know it's hard because between that and the Mario Luigi game,
Yeah, I think
both of those
Brothership is
games are
mine.
Mario
high.
Luigi Brotherhood.
Yeah, the Brotherhood game they're both very
Brothership.
high up on the
Bro,
Brothership game.
I sorry. I think of the memes from they do Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood memes with Mario and Luigi from that and the thing. Yes, Brothership.
Yeah.
That one looks good. For me, it's gotta be the Zelda or Plucky Squire. I keep getting that.
That one's up there too.
Yeah.
And
Which we
Rivals
still
2.
don't have a date. We still don't have a date for that one. It's just they still say it's going to be this year, but don't know when.
Yeah. Rivals
And-
2 doesn't have one either. Plucky Squire doesn't have one. And then Zelda, though, it's what? September 29th?
September something.
End of September, yeah.
I've got it here. 26.
26. I knew the 9 was upside down in my head. The 6 was upside down in my head.
There are some other ones, like smaller ones or ones that people probably don't have on their radar or not thinking of. One for me is the SteamWorld Heist 2. I'm actually looking forward to that one. Because
That's
not
soon,
because I
isn't it?
played the first, yeah, it is soon. It's like August 8th, I think.
Yeah, next year, I was gonna say.
I didn't play the first one. So it's not because I played the first one and waiting for the sequel. It's because I missed the first one and wanted to play it, but never got around to it. And because I know what goes on in those games, I know
Right.
what to look for. I'm fine with playing the second one without playing the first one. So I'm really looking forward to this one because I feel like I'll have time to play it,
Yeah,
hopefully.
right on.
But the other one too that I was looking for that just came out is the Ranger one. I was looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, that looks cool. For me, that Plucky Squire, and then Rivals of Aether 2. That looks like a fighting game I could lose some hours on.
Cool.
And Dan's a local guy, Washington guy. Got to root for him.
Anything else on your guys' minds before we end the show?
I
right.
got nothing else.
Wash your
Casey-
hands.
Casey, thanks for coming on and
Yeah.
being our guest host today.
No,
as
no
usual.
problem.
And in case anybody didn't know, Casey has been helping us out on our YouTube channel by doing a lot of shorts for us when he can. Obviously, he's got a day job too. So,
Yeah.
but when he has put them together, those shorts, minus one or two here and there that we actually do, he's been doing most of them. So, shout out
Thanks.
to you, sir, for putting those together. Much appreciated. It's very cool to see when you pop one out there.
Thanks. I know. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure. All right, with that, let's close out the show. First, a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, Solo Something, and our other 100 plus patrons. And I should say 110 plus. So we got a bunch of people who signed up recently because of that challenge we had for Marty to wear Pokemon Crocs for a month. So we just need a few more subscribers, both for Patreon or Twitch, to get over that hump, and he'll have to wear them. So we think we'll get there. So speaking of Twitch, next, a special thank you for our 16 Twitch subscribers and over 1,455 Twitch followers. And Twitch followers, why aren't you subscribed to us? Come on. subscribe. Anyways, and shout out
Click
to
the
our
button.
7,622 YouTube subscribers. Thank you, everybody who subscribed, who have been subscribing to us there. Our number just keeps going up and up and up. We broke this 7,600 mark. Now we're looking for the 7,700 mark. I jokingly say by the end of the year we'll have 10,000. You know, but who knows? We gotta hit it big. Casey, we need those shorts to help us get over the hump.
All right, I'm gonna get back into the mine, back to the editing dock.
Thank you, everyone. We would not be here if it weren't for you. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on and for us to be able to give away the prizes that we do because of what you give to us. Thank you very much. Check out our website at nintendodads.org for Spotify podcast feeds on our show, as well as other NINDADS family of podcasts, like our newest show, Star Wars Dads, Dads After Dark show, and the Retro Logic family of podcasts. Our latest YouTube videos and tweets are there as well. Links to all our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch is linked there. And actually, you can link it on our YouTube channel too. You can hit our shop there and get a lot of our merch and stickers and things like that there. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, manscaped.com. Get 20% off our Manscaped order with free shipping with code NINDADS, NINDADS, or factormeals.com, where you get 50% off your first order with the code NINDADS50. So check out our sponsors. That helps us out tremendously. And remember what I said earlier, in case you missed it. If you tried our Manscaped code and it didn't work before, it should now work now. And if you need to make any adjustments to anything, get with Manscaped's support, and hopefully they can help you with that. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download your our podcast on your favorite podcast app of choice, and please leave us a 5-star review and a comment. For me, for Casey, for Jesse, and the absent Marty and Justin, this is the Nintendo Dads, and we'll check you all later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Please understand